my website, theintelhubradio.com.
Join me, Joe Joseph, John King, and A.C. Griffith, Thursdays and Sunday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern for Freedomlink Radio on the Intel Hub News Network.
A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and family. Now this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years, but the crazy part is he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties, a few years ago. In fact, Baronis called his work a dire prophecy. Now, this has nothing to do with the stock market, but it could have a huge impact on almost every aspect of your life. And recently, he created a video which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica8.com. Although this video may be offensive to some audiences, it's worth checking out. Again, that's www.endofamerica8.com. Watch this free video at www.endofamerica8.com. You are listening to the Intel Hub News Network, crushing the New World Order piece by piece.
Well, welcome back, folks. The number to call, 877-598-8549. The lines are filling up here, so let's go to the phones. I'm going to go to Dean in Texas. Dean, you're live on the air.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, Dean. How about yourself?
Having a great day. I'm celebrating. We had a whole day without any chemtrails. It was wonderful.
Holy moly! Well, lucky you. Because I sure as heck had them today. I'll tell you what.
Well, it was really strange. It was I'm in the Houston area. We had a frost. We had a frost last night, and within an hour, it went from 30 degrees to about I'd say about 70 degrees in about an hour and a half.
Well, that's pretty good.
It was a beautiful day, and then all of a sudden I came outside. It was clear skies, and all of a sudden I'm seeing lightning. So looks like we're having all the seasons today.
That's what you guys are going through down in Texas is, the whole country is having a heck of a go with the weather. Europe's having a heck of a go with the weather. And there was a news report on Drudge, and the line, I think the headline was, yes, they just took it down, but it had to do with the fact that the magnetic pole shift is causing extreme weather conditions. And it wouldn't surprise me at all that we're seeing this, especially in the days that we're living. But what are you guys experiencing down in Texas, Dean?
Well, it's just been totally strange, but it totally blows my mind when you sit there and you see a report that they're having rolling brownouts in the state of Texas. People don't realize, but Texas exports electricity. We're the largest electricity producer in the United States, and probably one of the largest in the world. Every one of these chemical plants that are on the Gulf Coast, every one of them have what they call cogeneration. They all generate electricity for their plants, and it can instantly be switched into the grid. and there is never, ever a need for Texas to buy energy from Mexico. This whole thing is totally contrived. It's totally bogus, and it's built up. And it's as stupid as the wellheads in New Mexico freezing up, so they can't ship natural gas to homes in New Mexico. It's totally crazy.
You're absolutely right. I couldn't believe it when I saw that they were talking about us buying power from the Mexicans. I thought it'd be a cold day in hell when I saw a Texan buy power from Mexicans, and I mean, nothing against any.
And then they turned us down. And they turned us down on top of it.
That's right. Then they turned us down. But I mean, it's so incredibly. I'm scratching my head, Dean. I got to be honest with you, because I have never heard of this before, ever. You know, you're not. Of course, Texas isn't the only one dealing with extreme weather. My folks live in Massachusetts, and for the first time they've been in the house now. 1979, they moved into that house, so it's been about 32 years, and for the first time, the roof leaked, and it almost collapsed because of the ice. And now my father's like an avid roof raker and everything else, but there's 8 feet of snow on the ground. And I never in my life have ever had 8 feet of snow. I remember growing up, never. I mean, we've had blizzards from time to time, but 8 feet of snow on the ground, their phone's been out for a week because the phone guy can't get to the box. He can't find it. He's been digging for forever, still can't find it. So, I mean, this stuff is happening all over the place. And it's just, it's got me scratching my head on the one hand, and on the other hand, I kind of know where it's coming from, and that's why it's so important that we do what we can to prepare self and family.
Without a doubt. But this has been one crazy year, and I don't think it's over yet. I really don't.
Dean.
Yes, sir.
This is Griff. It's nice to hear you, by the way.
Nice to talk to you, Griff.
We've been talking about weather control for the last 10 years.
Sure.
There are many documents out there. Using weather as a force multiplier was one of the early documents, and other scalar applications to move jet streams and alter weather. Even in MacArthur's time, he talked about weather as a military weapon. So that's where it's coming from. It's not the poles. It's not global warming. It's military application of systems to control weather, make hurricanes, alter the jet stream. That's what's happening right now. Dean, how do you look at the future, the near future for the people? What should the people be doing now, in your estimation?
If they've got any free dollars, they need to be buying food and stocking in some water and trying to figure out a power source. That's my next dilemma, but because I do think this was this stuff of these rolling brownouts were kind of a dress rehearsal for what they're going to do to all of us.
Yeah, like a wake-up call.
Yeah, I lived without power for 2 weeks after Hurricane Ike, and it's no fun. You can do it. We did have water, which was nice, and I do have natural gas, so we could cook. But I didn't invest in a generator then, and you'd have to go stand in line to get gasoline for 4 hours to run a generator, and it just didn't look like it was worth it. So we made do, but how long can you make do? That's the thing everybody has got to face is you've got to figure out some way to be as self-reliant as you possibly can, but you've also got to take into account that everybody else is going to be after your stuff, and the other big thing is you've got to have a weapon, not to fight the government. You have to have a weapon to maintain your possessions so you can feed your family.
No, you're absolutely right, Dean. And thank you so much for the call. I got to move on to different callers, but Dean is right that you do need that. Now, one thing I will speak out against is generators. Let me say an internal combustion generator, because they generate a ton of noise. And the last thing you want to do if you have general civil unrest is give your position away if you live in an area where you're isolated by doing that. You know, that's one thing that I would have a problem with, and am kind of working around that to not give away the position. Let's go to Jim in Texas. Jim, you're live on the show.
All right.
How's
Okay.
it going, big guy?
Well, we had our first real snowstorm today. We've had some little flurries, but it was started sometime during the night. I guess we got about 3 or 4 inches during the day, but it's already kind of warming up enough to start melting. We've had over the winter, and of course Amarillo's always have been criticized for their weather, and I've been one of those to always tell everybody we're the only place in the world you can stand in mud deep and get your eyes put out in the blowing sand. But we've had some of the best weather this winter of any place in the country. But today, I think the first of the week we had some -4 degrees, and that was actual temperature, about -35 chill factor. So we've had this is the first real cold snap we've had. And I'm like that Dean there. I keep my eyes on, because I live out here on a ranch, and it's, there's no trees to block my view from horizon to horizon.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say the last week or 10 days is the first time we've had it where we didn't have chemtrails, and we've got pretty clear sky out here again, like we've always been blessed with when it's not cloudy. And so I don't know what's going on, but like you say, they're still spraying you, but I guess they figure they sprayed us enough. I don't know. But going back to being prepared, like I've always agreed with Griff on this, and I hear John talk about it. I'm literally, of course, I'm in the process right now, because I've got a big shop, 13,000 square feet under roof, where I can get in out of the weather and work. And I've been doing this for years, restore old buggies and carriages and wagons and things. And I'm in the process of doing that right now. Plus, I'm fixing to make me a trip and buy me a couple of teams of horses. Now, I live about 20 miles from the nearest grocery store. But I don't know how many of you are familiar with this part of the world, but in the old days when they settled Texas and Oklahoma and New Mexico and these places, there was a little town about every 15 miles, because that's about how far that the family could go once a month to town to buy groceries and get back. But they didn't have to go that far, because there was one about every 15 miles, so somebody living 7 or 8 miles out in the middle, they could go to town on their wagon. Mama could do her shopping, and Daddy maybe will go to the saloon and have a cold beer or something, and kids meet the other kids, and they go back home at night. They didn't have the money to stay in a hotel or anything. So I figure I'm here, so I got a big wide right-of-way between me and town. I hook up my team and go to town, get my groceries, and come back. And
that's a fantastic idea, isn't it, Griff?
I like that story.
Me too.
But that's the way this country was settled, and then they begin to have cars and things, and the little towns begin to die up and dry up, and become ghost towns, which is kind of sad.
No, you're right.
But I grew up in a little town. I grew up without electricity and running water. We had running water, but I had to run out there about 50 yards and get it.
It's kind of funny, you know.
We had an outhouse, and you sure don't linger long when you go out there, especially on a cold winter morning. And but there are so many people that have. You just, of course, Amarillo is not that big. It's only about 180,000 people, and it's spread out pretty good. But you go into Dallas and Fort Worth and places like that, and those people have no idea how to survive if they can't go to the grocery store every day. And some of them I don't think's got kitchen in them $500,000 homes, because you go out, especially on Friday and Saturday nights, even here in Amarillo, every restaurant parking lot is full. Everything from McDonald's on up to saltgrass